hoping we would see a couple other people.
Okay, we are recording.
All right, excellent, great. So we'll just start off with your updates then, Corbin, and then we'll just go down the list here. I was hoping Kara was going to be here to give us an update on the election, but I think I know what she knows, so I can probably give you that. And then I thought we would switch over to see where we are with the prep for the dance, the end of the year picnic for the teachers. And then I thought we should talk about what we are planning on doing for the end of the year for the students, as well as I was hoping, Kim, maybe you could go through quickly for us what we need to do for the financial audit with everybody on the list, and full agenda there. So that's sort of what I had in mind. And then we can do any other business after that.
We have Teacher Appreciation Week, the first week of May also.
And that one too. Yep. All right, Corbin, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So lots of positives going on. We have tomorrow night and Saturday night is our musical, Wizard of Oz, up at school, and from all accounts, both nights are already either sold out or very close to being sold out. So we expect a packed house both evenings for the Wizard of Oz. We're looking forward to that, and looking forward to the students on stage for the first time in a couple of years. We had several students who participated in the Delaware County Spelling Bee, and I'm sorry, not Delaware County, the what's the level after the Chester County Spelling Bee?
The regional?
Delaware Valley, not Delaware Valley. Spelling Bee, that was, or not Spelling Bee, Science Fair. That was yesterday. I haven't received any official results, so I'm not even too sure how our students did yesterday, not if they have the results yet from that. But when I get those, I'm hoping to have them tomorrow to be included in my weekly update to families. But we had, I believe, 4 or 5 students who participated in the science fair yesterday. So excited for those results to hear how they did. Our Odyssey of the Mind teams did very well at Lock Haven at the state competition on the 2nd of April. We sent 3 teams to the state level competition, and all 3 teams finished second in their areas. And by virtue of that, all 3 teams have qualified for the national championship competition, which will be held May 24th to the 28th. And that is at Iowa State University.
Wow.
So I know those students and their coaches are already tweaking what they did at the state level competition, knowing that they're going to be seeing greater competition at the national level. So they're making improvements to their designs and their approach, and well, hopefully we'll do well at the national level as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let me think here. I mean, aside from that, we had some students who every year, Mrs. Armstrong, who's our exploring tech teacher as well as our STEAM elective teacher, she gives students the opportunity to participate in a contest that is run by the Chester County Tobacco Free Coalition. And students are asked to submit anti-smoking, anti-tobacco memes that they've created. And then students from across the Delaware Valley can do the same thing, or throughout Chester County, not the Delaware Valley, throughout Chester County can do the same things. And then they judge the memes and decide who's the best, et cetera. So this year, actually, O&J Middle School, our students took 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place,
Wow.
top
Nice.
3 places in the competition, which is pretty cool. We also had an honorable mention student in there as well. So their memes will be created into posters that we sent to us so we can hang around the building and kind of promote remaining tobacco free, smoke free. So proud of those students for that. There was a Cora Wilson, Zoe Weber, Theo Heim, and then honorable mention was Harrison Minford. So very proud of those students for that. Outside of that, our spring sports are underway, or, as underway as they can be, considering we seem to be in
Underwater.
a monsoon season of late around here. But, when they're able to get on a field that's dry enough to practice on, or a track that's dry enough to run on, they're doing so. Lots of students participating. In spring sports, we probably have less offerings aside from winter. We don't have a lot of offerings in the spring, but the students are ready to go, and some have had their first scrimmages, and now we're just waiting on Mother Nature to cooperate a little bit for us. It makes it difficult anytime it rains, because middle school students all play on and practice on, for the most part, natural surfaces, natural fields. So, any little bit of rain turns them into mud puddles, and then the gym space is chopped up so much between the various teams that, they might get a half an hour in half of the gym, or an hour and a half of the gym. So it's not conducive. We don't have a lot of the space and indoor and turf facilities for middle school that we might need. So, but they're ready to go. As soon as the weather clears, we'll be in at full steam. Outside of that, it's just, in the back of our mind on our side, not necessarily the student side, is just getting things prepared for testing that's coming up. PSSA and Keystone testing is coming up, making sure we have all of our tests and test booklets in order when they arrive, and we have our online tickets ready for those students who are taking them online or on the computer instead of paper pencil. Make sure we have our small groups broken out, our training done for all of our proctors, and a lot that goes into that. That's more from the administrative side, not so much the student side. So I don't need to bore you with that information, but that's about it. That's all I have, and looking forward to students. Students have been emailing me and asking lots of questions about the dance. There's been some confusion. I guess they thought that the dance was formal, and that they had to get all jazzed up for the 7th and 8th grade dance on the 22nd. I said, no, you don't have to get dressed up for that. That's the 8th grade dance, and even that's not formal dance. So lots of students that are confused between 8th grade dance and 7th and 8th grade dance, and we had to clarify some information there. So I told them there's more information to come. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I saw your note come out to clarify that point. I think that was really good.
Yeah, I
Appreciate
clarified that point. And I think in that note, I only mentioned the 8th grade dance is not formal. And some of them took that to mean, oh, the 7th and 8th grade dance must be formal then, since he didn't mention
Got
that's
ya.
also not
I
formal.
got you. I got you.
So I should have said that neither dance is a formal dance. But I think we got it clear. The word is now out of how things are going to work. So.
All right, good.
Any
How the
questions?
teachers hanging the last month here? They holding up pretty well
Yeah, I think they're holding up okay. And it's
into the
tough,
year.
this group of students can be testy for sure. They pose some unique challenges on top of coming out of a pandemic and not quite remembering how to treat one another in a civil manner, and how to act when you're face to face with people. But we have a great staff there. They'll get through.
Yeah.
They'll manage.
You guys holding out with the virus? Any numbers going up, or is that?
Yeah, I mean, we get emails now and again saying that so-and-so has tested positive and they're out. But, before we would get multiple students a day emails about that. And now it's, we hear about a name a week, because we're not the ones testing them, right? So we only
Right.
find out about it if a student's positive. We only find out about that because a parent has shared that, hey, so-and-so, my son or
Yeah.
daughter's sick. They're going to be out for the next 5 days, whatever it is. And then we'll share that. But
Yeah.
otherwise, we're not contact tracing. And, it was before that if you came into the nurse's office with the sniffles, you were tested immediately, and we're just not there anymore. We're not doing that. So it's quieted down quite a bit, which I'm happy for our nurses' sake. You talk about a population in our district who is really pushed to the brink and stretched to their limits. That group, our district nurses were really beginning to show the wear and tear of the last year and a half, 2 years, most certainly.
You don't doubt that. Real quick, I wanted to see, I see Kelly's on there. Hi, Kelly. we had talked about maybe trying to do a little membership drive here, bolus here at the end of the year, try to get some of the sixth grade parents coming in. So I don't know if you thought about any ideas around that.
I know last time I tried to contact the elementary schools for a list of the sixth grade parents, they really couldn't give them to me.
Yeah. I mean, do you think we could put our signs out or something, or make, I mean, I'm just trying to think, and is there, you know, I know that Kara had contacted or was trying to contact the PTAs and PTOs with respect to upcoming sixth grade parents for the election. And I don't know where she got with that, but it might be worth trying. Oh, there's Kara smiling. Oh, that's a picture. I was like, she looks too perfect this time of night. Kara, I don't know where you got to with contacting the sixth grade PTO and PTAs, and whether that contact list is something that you think might be helpful for Kelly for maybe an early membership drive.
I know Kara had, Kara, yeah, we can hear you, Kara. If I'll talk for me
okay.
as well.
Cool.
Kara had sent to me some, you know, posters or flyers, for lack of a better word, just kind of pumping up not only the need for anyone interested in being an officer and what seats were available, but also just generally, you know, membership. And I did send that out to all of our sixth grade families. I do have the ability
good.
To set, and then I sent it out to all of our I believe all of our seventh grade families as well. Kara, I don't think I sent that to our eighth grade families, knowing that they're going to be in high school next year. If I don't know if you want it different or not, but I didn't bother with our eighth grade families since they're going to roll out of here.
I was
If
just
they have
thinking,
younger, if they have younger siblings, then they'll get it when I send it to the seventh and sixth grade.
Since they have to enroll every year, we never really solved that problem. Enroll, I don't know if that's the right word, register, join. We were trying to get at least a workable team here for the new board starting off the year. And so that's what I was trying to do, is even if we could get a group of 20 or 30 people to sign up early, instead of waiting till the new school year starts.
Early enrollment.
For the PTA,
Yeah.
You know, there's a few things there. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You might just double check your bylaws, because I think East Coventry is like, you have to re-enroll at like the end of July or something like that. So just double check.
Do you know that, Kim, off the top of your head? With
Yeah,
respect to
that is true, but you could certainly get their information, prospective members, and just hold it till July. So that they're not playing double. That's what I would do. You know, is on their end, they think they're joining, and they are, but you're not submitting it until it takes care of the next year. That's my suggestion.
Something like that. That would be fine, even if we had that July, but just to get contact and kind of get the ball rolling before everybody heads out for summer. Because there's a number of things like right at the beginning of the school year that even just having, you know, half a dozen people will make a difference. So it's just a thought there. So maybe Kelly, I don't know if you want to buddy up with Kara on that list and see what you might think about that. And I mean, it's not trying to get the hundreds of people that we're trying to get once the school year starts, but even just getting a half dozen or a dozen parents that are interested in being in the PTA. And then, you know, the welcome back to the 7th and 8th graders, the welcome back to the teachers, these things that happen that first month. It'd be nice to have some folks to kind of work on that, as opposed to just having the board do it. Because the board also is pretty thin in the summer months with the vacations and things like that. So, all right, let's move over. I see Carrie, you're on there. I was going to say it would be good to get an update on the election. I know you've really been working hard. Those flyers look awesome. The video was hilarious. And it looks like you already have maybe you've started to form a slate. If we could, you know, get that slate out even the next week or so, then we could probably either move the next meeting by a week to do the election, or we could always just have a special meeting for an election. But yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I find the other two, my only concern is the one I don't know anything about, one or two of them. But you know, one seems to be really on the ball. The other one, I'm not 100% sure on. So, I mean, if they volunteer, I guess. You know, it's not our place to choose, but I want to make sure they're not going to bail out, you know, mid-year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm keeping messaging going and we're keeping the emails going, and I've been literally seeing everybody I know. So we'll see.
Did you find that questionnaire thing on the Google?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't get there yet.
Okay.
It's been a week.
Okay, no worries. If I can try to pull, I had to change a password again. I don't know what happened. I'm sure it was a cockpit problem, but if I can get on there and I'll just email it directly to you. But it was a little questionnaire, I think, that they put together last year, and it just sort of says, why do you want to be on the board and so forth. And that way, if we have more than one, even if we just have one person per slot, it gives you a feel for, you know, who that person might be. And then if we have more than one, then we would have to differentiate somehow.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just going to get 5, and if we can even get 5.
Okay.
Do we ever move forward with just 4, like dropping one of the VPs, or like I know elementary does, but I don't know, just in case.
So just to remind everybody, we have an open position for all of the slots except treasurer. So Jen is the lucky one to stay on and keep the ball rolling here. But so that would be all the positions. That's 5 positions we have open.
Catherine, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I do want to just bring up Casey Gordon, who is phenomenal. She's like really involved in lots of different things. She really wants to work on the backpack program next year. But she doesn't think she can commit to like the VP position. You know, if we get into a bind, I'm sure I could maybe persuade her to take the position, knowing that we're not going to pester her for a lot more than just the backpack program. But I want to obviously throw that out there.
Yeah.
Casey's here with us. She's listening to everything you're saying.
Kara, you're busted. I'm here. I can.
Oh, great.
You know, I was actually gonna ask Casey while you were on the phone anyway, because you've been a very engaged parent. So I think that I'm a true testament to say that you can do this with one eye closed. As long as everybody else is it's like everybody's pitching in a little bit here and there. You know, I don't think it's one of these things where it's a full-time job. It's just yeah. But we'll leave that for you to think about. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad I stuck to my motto. If I wouldn't say it to their face, I don't say it out loud. So
there you go.
Yeah, and this is Casey. I just wanted to kind of clarify that I've done the backpack program through East Coventry, and then I know Megan's on too. Megan and I have been kind of tag teaming it this year. So I would absolutely run the backpack program, no problem. I said even through high school, I have no problem doing that. I was just concerned, I am on another board, and just like everybody else, I work and have a family. And so I was just a little concerned to actually commit to be an official board member, but I would never let the backpack program suffer. So
that is the primary role, isn't it, Megan, for your slot, isn't it? Like the majority of it. I mean, I know you pitch in and do other stuff, but it's not really it's because you want to more than it's
right. Well, you're subpar, but yes, it really is just the backpacks that the VP is supposed to be in charge of. And Casey, I would help you do the backpacks anytime going forward too, just so you know.
Yep, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I think we really need to think about, and one of the things I wanted to do is have an organizational meeting with the new board, you know, as soon as we can, and try to get, you know, Kim was trying to help me do this last year, and just between me being really kind of naive and unaware of the role, I think, as well as a lot of people weren't around that first month and so forth, but just getting those dates in the calendar, if we could get, you know, half the dates or so in the calendar, would make the job a lot easier for the whole board. And then I think Kara and I have shared before a couple of times, you know, the whole philosophy of, you know, you can drive certain events, but that doesn't mean you have to do everything soup to nuts on everything. We've got to get more parents involved in doing these types of things. And so in this case, Casey, you know, driving the backpack program doesn't necessarily mean you have to do 100% of it. I mean, we would really want to encourage other PTA members who have an interest in that, you know, to be part of that, and for you to be able to delegate some of those responsibilities. I don't know, Megan, if you've had any luck with that kind of approach, but that's really the very successful teams, I think, is when you can really engage and get more people involved. And it's hard. We might not ever have more than a handful of people that have the passion to do that. But one of the things I envisioned was to say the people who really love organizing, like the dances, you know, have a dance committee, and those are the parents that help with that. And ones that have a passion for teacher appreciation do the handful of teacher appreciation events. And the ones that have a passion, you know, for certain things that we do, then they really are just committing to, you know, a couple of things a year to work on those as a committee or a team. And sometimes when you can divide and conquer these things in that approach, it doesn't feel so overwhelming, like a full year commitment to certain parents, because they only really can do one thing, you know, and or they only have an interest in one thing. And maybe it's those parents that say, look, I don't have any time whatsoever, but I can bake or I can do whatever. And the parents, I think one of the things I've noticed at ONJ is how generous they are. You put out an SUG and we usually get everything we need, from respect to the snacks and things like that. But it's the warm bodies that we seem to have a little bit more trouble getting. But Casey, certainly, you know, reach out to Megan, get more info if you want or need. And, you know, I think that would, you know, that's the primary role of that position, is that backpack program. And if you're already doing it, then you probably would be a great fit for that if you have an interest. And then I think the rest of the board is just occasionally being able to come to the meetings or even catching up offline just so you know what's going on. But that's pretty much it. I think it's a divide and conquer type of attitude. Anything else, Kara? So you've got at least maybe somebody for each position. You're still working on a couple. I'll try to get the that questionnaire. I don't know if you have it handy, Kim.
Kara, I just sent it to you by email.
You got it, Amy? Okay,
perfect.
great.
Thank you.
So if we can ask them to fill it out, you know, this week or maybe by early next week, and we could, maybe the three of us can chat. So we have Jen Scott helping as well. Just look through those, put the slate out to you guys. And then maybe we can get it advertised, you know, maybe end of next week or early the week after. That gets us voting kind of in the middle of May, which I don't think we want to drag it much longer than that, because we start to get to the end of the year and it's going to be hard to get that done. All right, let's move on to the dance. Has anybody looked at the Sign Up Genius? How are we looking there?
Well, we've sold one dance ticket so far online.
Yeah, did we work out how we're selling tickets? I saw that question go around.
What? No, I put something together.
Yeah,
it's on
that
the
was
floor.
Yeah, that was my fault. I didn't actually read the whole Sign Up Genius, and the link is on there. So we're all set.
Okay. Yep. Should we set out a separate email? I'm not email Cormit in the announcement that just the dance and then buy tickets kind of, so it's up
Yeah,
front?
that has not even, we haven't done that yet. So if we have the link for ticket sales, and however you want that written up, get that to me and I'll push that out to students and parents in the same email. Just so they know, okay, hey, tickets are on sale, and I can address anything else you want to address in there, from dress code to, you know.
Yeah.
I think we need to be very clear on whether or not we're going to be selling any tickets at the door.
I think if you have that list, I think we agreed that we could do that, right? As long as we had the list of students. That was the biggest caveat there.
Yeah.
Unless you have an attendance limit.
No, we don't have an attendance limit for the dance. I mean,
do we have what do we think about tickets at the door? I mean, it'd be ideal to get a, I mean, we've got our Sign Up Genius for how much snacks and food we're going to collect. So it's not like that's going to change, right? We're sort of estimating based on past attendance.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, if we're selling the tickets online, when the kids come in, are we just going to check their name against the list of who bought tickets, or are we physically giving them a ticket to hand in? Just double checking that.
It's been so long. I forget how we've done that in the past. Kim, do you remember?
Yeah, my suggestion is that we check against the list and have some sort of stamp, like hand stamp we talked about last time, having those that pre-purchase their tickets go in through the doors by the cafeteria, and anyone that needs to buy a ticket that night come through the front doors that go into the lobby doors. That'll separate our lines, but then the stamps will also help verify a stamp, an X on the hand, whatever we want to mark, the hands with.
Yeah.
How are we doing with the volunteers on the Sign Up Genius? I see Amy looking. So I haven't signed up as a volunteer yet because I'm 50-50 whether I'm in town. So I'm hoping we have enough volunteers, but
So I'm away that weekend, so unfortunately I can't be there to help out.
okay.
But if we do want to sell tickets at the door, I can make sure that we have the cash box set up and all that good stuff.
Okay.
I don't see anybody.
There's no volunteers?
None yet.
I mean, could we send out a threat or something that says if we don't get enough volunteers, we can't have the dance?
Well,
That's
that's
true.
not a threat. That's reality.
That's reality.
So, I think when we send the email out about ticket sales and hey, the window's open to sell tickets, and I said I'll send that to parents and to students, I can certainly include in there the link for the Sign Up Genius and the general announcement saying, please be advised that if we don't get the number of volunteers that we need, the dance will be canceled and students refunded their money, because that's just a reality. I mean, we can't do it without people there. It's
I know. We have an ice.
We need eyes all around that place when 400 students after dark.
Yeah. I mean, 13 even sounds light, doesn't it? And we're having how many security guards?
There's usually one.
Just one? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
And is he mostly for the outside, like for parking and stuff?
Yeah.
Or does he come in and walk around?
Both. They kind of in and out there. They walk around the perimeter and then they'll come inside, make sure everything's good in there. And they're very visible at dismissal when parents come to pick up their child from the dance. They're out there, kind of making sure everything's okay and there's no funny business going on. And really, they're there if we need them more than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
They're there that if someone, elopes from the dance, or we can't locate someone, that I can get on the walkie-talkie and say, middle school principal security, we need you out in front of middle school. And
Okay.
so it's really a safety blanket for us. But for the most in years past, we really haven't had much funny business from anyone. We've had some students who have tried to bring some vapes into a bathroom and stuff like that, and that they usually make it through about 15 minutes of the dance before a friend rats them out or turns them in, and then that's over. Their night's over. So, but I mean, that's the worst of it. They really are. Aside from just general adolescent behavior, there's nothing over the top or that we would necessarily need security for, but it's good to know they're there if we need them.
Is this going to be in that same room we had the pumpkin thing, or the what I mean, the gingerbread house?
It's in the cafeteria. Yeah. So they clear out all the tables from the cafeteria, and then the hallway from the cafeteria to the lobby and the lobby. Those are our spaces, really.
Okay.
No one's allowed in the LGI. They're not allowed in the auditorium. They're not allowed in 108, the FCS room right next to the LGI. So it's really just the cafeteria, the lobby, and the connecting hallway.
And you're able to
stores locked?
Pardon?
Will the doors be locked for those,
All the
like
other,
LGI and all that?
the doors are locked to the other spaces, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. Are there any teachers that are like really loving these dances that might want to help or?
No, to be blunt, no.
Don't sugarcoat it.
We had 2 that were pretty regular attendees and one of them retired.
Okay.
So, but Dr. Hauck will likely be there. Dr. Hauck comes to every dance. He comes for the food, I think. But you know, he comes and hangs out for a little while and then he's on his way. I've you know, I've thrown some bribes out there to teachers in the past and said, you know, for some of you, I've done favors, you know, you've asked to leave early this or that date, and I've always worked with you. This is your chance to, I'm now cashing in my favor. Need you to come to the dance. And that'll usually draw some of them in. But
How many here are going to be there? So Jen is a no. I'm at 50-50. Kim's going to be there. Amy, Megan, you get your hand up. Megan's not there. Kelly, are you there? Nope. So we've got 1, 2.
Kara will be away as well.
Kara's away. Casey, are you gonna chaperone?
So I know my daughter wants to go. I don't know if she'd be horrified if I chaperone, but so let me ask. So chaperone just means I walk around and just.
Well, we could put you at the front door collecting tickets or whatever would be comfortable, right? So it's basically that. It's just we're in different locations to make sure kids aren't going where they shouldn't be going.
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay, and then refreshment. So I'd have to be there. I know it goes from 7 to 9, and we'd have to be there. What, like 6:30? What was?
No sooner than that. I mean, yeah, it doesn't take that long.
I think I put 6:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Preferably, but yeah, you don't have to be there super early.
Okay, so maybe I can rope my husband into coming with me, and that would be 2 people, right?
Yeah, as long as you guys have we have to have the clearances, right?
Okay,
That's
and
the
can I think we're good. Can I check with like the secretary?
Yes.
Yeah.
She can make sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let me get on that just to make sure that we're up to date.
Yeah, that ends up usually being the caveat is a lot of people will say, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then they don't have the clearances and so forth. But
Okay.
all right. So what do we need to do between now and the dance? It's the 21st. What's the date of it again? 22nd?
22nd.
22nd.
I second. Was the DJ reserved?
DJ's
Yep.
been reserved. Kim did that. And he'll just show up, Kim? He'll have his own electrical. We just have to have a power outlet for him. Okay.
Yeah, he knows exactly what to do. He's
All right.
been there before, yeah.
All right. So the DJ's done. We just have to double check maybe the SUG like a week or so before and touch up on any of that, I guess.
We need to think about setup. Setup is going to take, it's not hard, but if we're going to hang any lights or do any kind of decoration, set up the tables, get the snacks set out, and then the water, get the water ice down, get that going. So it ends up
Wait a minute,
taking.
what do you mean water ice?
No, not
The
water ice.
iced down.
Water in ice.
The water and
Oh,
ice.
Make it cold.
Like, wait a minute, wait, did I
No,
miss something?
no water
Yeah.
ice. Yeah, no, I understand how that was confusing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, Corbin, do you think, now that I'm saying this out loud, I wonder if we have any kids that are in any of these organizations that have service hours, or student council or anything like that, that we could, the things that we're doing, it would be easy for our students to help set up. What do you think?
Yeah. So Leo Club's always doing stuff like that.
Doesn't the Honor Society have to do service hours?
Yeah, but their induction ceremony is the night before.
Oh.
Thursday the 21st, I think. So by that time, those who have the hours have
Already
them,
have 'em.
those who don't aren't going to do them the night after the ceremony. So
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure the Leo Club put it out already as well.
Okay. And is that Jen's group?
Jen Scott, yeah.
Jen's group? Okay. I can send her an email as well and ask her if she thinks she'd have any kids that might be available to come that are maybe already coming to the dance, that they'd be able to come maybe like a half hour early and help with that.
Do you want me to ask the high school?
Well, we might be able to get a couple of the high school kids to act as chaperones.
Well, we could definitely get high school, hang on a second, I'm making a note, high school or group 2 help set up. That we
Yeah.
could definitely do. If we do if we have them chaperone, we need to give them a very specific job and they need to be with an adult. You know, not having them necessarily roaming around by themselves. It puts them in a very awkward position because they often have younger siblings or, you know, friends of siblings that are in the school, and it makes
Yeah,
it
unless
difficult.
it's really visible, like if you're at one end of the hall and you can see them at the other end. Like when we did the one outside, we had a couple of the high school kids and they would go back to see if there was anybody in those bathrooms, but then we had the walkie-talkie and they would tell us, and then we would come back there as the adult to shoo them out. So it was just a little bit of extra eyes there, but
the high school kids could help with the snack tables. You know, that's an easy thing for them to just, you know, distribute. They could stamp hands, you know, once the kids are checked in, they could do the stamping. You know, there's things that they can definitely be a part of, and cleanup. There's setup and there's cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great, Amy, if you want to reach out to them. And
I will. Okay. John McCormick. I know who.
All right. So I'll send a note to Jen. You'll ask John.
Okay.
And then hopefully it'll. So did you put on the I didn't notice. I just saw food. So in terms of decorations, we didn't have anything like that on there, right?
No. We have from the teacher breakfast, we have some lights. And then that we hung, remember, at the gingerbread house decorating
on the
also?
wall.
Yeah.
I've got tons of lights. I'm
do?
happy. I've got tons of them from I'm happy to bring lights. If you're just talking like Christmas lights, we just hang them up.
Yeah.
I can bring some lights. And do we need like tablecloths or anything like that for the snack table?
Would be nice. You know, that's nice. I don't remember if we still have any. We need to get a bunch anyway. You know, something we need to look into though, Jen, is the rolls of tablecloths. It might be less expensive to buy big rolls. We have a couple of events coming up. It might be, you know, a better value to buy the rolls.
I actually have a bunch of red and white tablecloths to donate.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll save the red and white ones for the end of the year teacher thing. That might be nice for them. Because the ones that are going to go at this dance, I mean, even if they're just plastic clear, you know, it's basically to protect the gym more than it is to look nice for the kids.
Yeah. Well, the tablecloths.
There won't be any tables in the gym.
Yeah, the tables are set up in the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you're going to have, so we were supposed to have them not take food and drinks into the cafeteria then, right? So we'd have somebody monitoring for that type of thing?
They walk around with them. They do walk around with them.
Okay.
I mean, they do. Now the coins for Connor, Jen Scott's and Leo's, they are going to sell pretzels. So that is something we want to make sure that, Jen said they were going to advertise. We might want to make sure we include that, Corbin, in whatever email goes out to families. Because they don't usually have a reason to bring cash to these events.
Well, were you wanting to do the raffle baskets at the dance? Was that a separate thing?
No, raffle baskets are for the teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they would just need cash for pretzels. Okay. Yeah. Do we have a write-up for the coins for Connors that we could put on there?
No, I can check with Jen. I know she was just going to handle that, but we should kind of merge those, you know, that communication so that
I'll put it in the same email.
Okay.
I'll remind her of those two, ask her if they've got anybody who can help us with setup, take down, etc. And then if she has got a little blurb that we can put out for the pretzels to put in the announcements and to remind the kids to bring $1 or whatever. She was selling them $1 a piece. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Something like that, $1 a piece?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So Amy, can you just remind us, like maybe each week, sort of where we are with that Sign Up Genius? Because if we need to sort of like figure out a way to fill in the gaps.
Okay.
Anything else in the dance before we move on? So we're going to send out a note. Do you have a separate link, Jen, to the tickets that we can send to Corbin to put in the announcement for the week? I think it's its own link.
Yeah, it was in the email with the Sign Up Genius.
Yeah, it's on the Sign Up Genius itself, but I can copy and paste it for you if you want it, Catherine.
Well, I'm just wondering, should we have a link that just goes to tickets, not to the whole Sign Up Genius?
Well, and I sent a
Catherine.
QR code that we can put on posters that can scan right to getting tickets.
Okay.
A great idea.
Is that what, Carrie, you were going to say?
Well, no, I was gonna say, if you get the blurb, I can put everything together for Corbin and to post on everything. So if you just get me the blurb for the fundraiser we're doing, I have all that stuff from Jen, and then I can put it all together for Corbin and get it out on social media.
Okay. So we need a blurb about the coins for Connor with the note about money
Yep.
for pretzels. And I'll get that from Jen. And then we need the QRL for the tickets in a separate note, in a separate piece. Is that what we're thinking?
No, like kind of all together, right? To send to
Yeah, I'll
Corbin?
package it up real pretty. It'll make sense.
Okay. Okay. I just don't want anything to get lost, right? If anybody's like me, if you send me an email with what you need in the subject line, you're probably going to get it. If I have to actually open the email and if it's more than 2 sentences, you're in deep trouble. All right. I would like to say I'm joking, but I'm not. All right. So picnic, end of the year picnic. So I saw you've got the shelter scheduled there, Kim. Is that what I saw the note was?
Yeah. We've got the 2 pavilions are they're reserved. We're set with that. So we just need to, I guess, I don't know, order the food and get the the Sign Up Genius. Well, you guys gave me some feedback a little bit on the Sign Up Genius raffle baskets. I would wait until like we have the dance on Friday night, send that Sign Up Genius out for raffle baskets on Monday, and
what's the date for that again? It's June 10th?
13th.
13th.
It's
That's a
Monday,
Monday?
13th.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the Megan, your friend's going to cater that, right? Okay. So we have that food. We just need some of the top off stuff, drinks, whatever.
Do we need to provide anything additional, or did we get was it all included?
I think they were providing cutlery, if I recall. Do you remember, Megan?
But I can check just to confirm, just to make sure that they would provide what paper products.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably have to get drinks, right? I can't remember what was on the list.
Let me see if I can find the email real quick.
I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water. I'll be right back.
I'm trying to find that thread that had Mark answering all of our questions about the lunch, and now I can't find it.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. I'm in East Vincent and it is thundering like crazy.
Yeah.
I know Amy could hear it. I saw you. Is it thundering in North
I have it
Coventry?
too. Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah.
I just heard the Brandywine's like almost ready to overflow. My friend that lives in
Yeah, I live near the
downtown.
Schuylkill, 1 block over from the Schuylkill, and it is really high. My sump pump's running like nuts.
I cannot find that email from, I know we were all on it, weren't we?
I just saw it the other day. Yeah.
I know, I feel like
I found it. I thought he had something attached to it, but apparently it's just in the body.
We probably have time to do this at our next meeting, don't you think? That gives us almost a whole month.
Yeah.
Get the Sign Up Genius together and get it out.
like utensils.
We will also supply plates, napkins, serving utensils, knives, forks if you need them.
Okay.
So we would do the drinks.
It does not mention drinks.
And we would do desserts probably.
I thought they had desserts included.
I feel like they have cookies, if I remember correctly, but I don't want to.
It says chocolate chip cookie tray. Do you want me to re-forward it to everybody?
Yeah, let's just have it at the top of the list, and then let's look through it and see if we want to top it off, suggestions for what the sign up genius would be. So then it might just be, most of the sign up genius might just be beverages and decorations. Do we need people serving, or are the caterers serving?
I thought they said they served. Or they could.
He said he could get some, I think he even said he'd get his kids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that we wouldn't need a lot. It's the teachers a little bit easier than the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sandwiches. The only hot thing is like they have a cheesesteak bar where you kind of make your own. So I don't know that there's really servers. It's not like people making hot dogs and hamburgers like it was last year.
Yeah.
It says I can help serve also maybe my kids if I grab them. So
Family affair. All right, good. All right, so let's think about, we'll have to get on top of that at the next meeting, get all that finalized. But at least we got the shelter, what do you call it, pavilion reserve. So that's good. So thank you for doing that, Kim. And also for getting the apples and the shamrocks and all that done. I heard that was a big success. So appreciate that. Do we want to go to the next teacher appreciation event since we're on that?
We do. I know Camille is all set to, she basically runs that whole part of the messages, and I gave her the same labels that we used on the shamrocks. I think I bought enough to cover the teacher appreciation, the apples for the messages, and she was fine with doing all of that. Probably need to double check the Google form, and that needs to go out, like, since Teacher Appreciation Week is the first week of May, and it is now April 7th. That probably needs to go out in like really soon, and with QR code, so the kids that's sitting at lunch, what we did last year is we literally taped the QR code on the lunch tables and on the columns and all around, so that kids, while they're sitting at lunch, they just fill out a quick Google form, and then Camille does her magic. The only thing we don't have, Corbin, can we use school paper for the apples? We did for the shamrocks.
did we lose Corbin?
He's on mute. I can unmute him.
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Who is savvy enough to get this Google form thing out and going?
I'll do that.
I'm happy to do it. I just don't know how to do it. So
we just use the one that's already there and we update it. That's all. That was just like that's one nice thing about Google Forms is we just go to what's there and pull it up from our drive. It should be in the drive, and update the date. Probably Google Form allows you to make a copy. So we'll make a copy and date it for this year so that it doesn't have all of last year's messages attached to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all we're doing for that day, are the apples?
Yeah, it's for it goes for the whole week. We do have yard signs that we bought last year. They're just little ones that go in the little courtyard as you come into the building. And then we do have Kara bought all that chalk. She brought it's a case of sidewalk chalk that was delivered to the middle school. Yes, it was wonderful. Thank you, Kara. And I have I reached out to the two art teachers, or the two teachers whose clubs are art clubs. It's Kirstenberg and I think McGinnis, and let them know that club is Friday of that week. So that's not going to work for doing club. But I invited them to have their wind classes participate, in drawing out on the sidewalks on some afternoon. So I I'd like to get a few more classes on board and just, throughout the week, have a few groups in front and a few groups in the back adding messages to the sidewalk. Hopefully it won't be as wet as it is now. So the messages last for a couple of days. But it's hard to think about that with the amount of rain we've had. But okay. Is there anything different or addition to that, Corbin, that okay.
Nothing I can think of, no.
The administration is providing lunch for the teachers one day. Is that right? That's right, right?
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
so they are getting a lunch and
Monday of that week, the 2nd.
okay. Yeah, so that's nice. So they'll have lunch and then they'll have the notes throughout the week. The notes will still come in from the kids even that week, and Camille just cranks them out and delivers them. So it works out really well.
Sounds good. The end of the year for the students, what were we planning on that activity? Is that a picnic? What were we thinking?
Well,
Usually PTA doesn't get too involved in that.
Okay.
From our end, we do some things from the school side of it, using some of the monies through student council, I believe.
Okay.
We have like a yearbook signing party, and the same DJ that's doing our dance comes in for that, and
Okay.
we have Rita's water ice and Philly's soft.
So after the dance, then we don't necessarily have any other big events for the students this year then?
no.
Okay.
Last year we did a water ice truck because we hadn't been able to have a dance, and that was
Oh, yeah.
PTA's contribution, something for the whole student body. So
Right.
but we get to have the dance. So
Right. Okay.
Forgot about that.
But the last item I had on here was the financial audit. And I know, Jen, you did that last year, or Kim, you guys. I don't know if you want to just give us a quickie on what we need to do for that. We need to
It
get
would
some
just be
committee
great
together. Right.
If we could get 3 people. I know last year it was hard getting a bunch of people to get together, so I had to rope 3 of my friends to do it.
So what did the people do?
All they have to do is they just go through the books and make sure there are 2 signatures on each check, just making sure that any expense has a receipt, and all that good stuff. They look at the budget lines and make sure that, what we said went out according to the budget.
And this needs to be done by when?
the end of June. July 1 is the new calendar year for PTA.
Okay.
So until the books are balanced, you can't spend any money. Yeah,
Got
you
it.
have to
End
have
of
all
June.
that in place.
All right.
So there was I don't know, Catherine, I kind of sent you a list of names of people
Right.
that might
Yep.
do little jobs here and there. Those would be people to draw from.
Okay.
Cindy Hutchison, that's one name that comes to mind. Anyway, there's a few.
I will pull that email up because I was looking at that with respect to the election committee, and we kind of had that one since we were running so short. I just took the third slot on that one, so we didn't have to call on those folks. But I can send an email out to them and say we're looking for 3 volunteers for the financial audit. So it just involves reviewing the paperwork, the receipts, the signatures. Do they reconcile the numbers? I'm assuming, yeah. And then they put together a single report. Is there a template?
Yeah,
there's a template they have to fill out and then sign.
Okay. All right. I will see what we can get together for that. And then they would work with you directly, Jen?
Mm-hmm.
And they just have to have it done by the end of June. All right. I had that on my to-do list. I just didn't know what my notes meant. So thank you for that. Anything else? Any other business that we're missing here?
I actually have a personal thing that I'd love to just ask about. I'm not sure how this works. I know with PTA, you have to have, it's supposed to benefit the whole school, whatever we spend. But while I have Corbin here, is there any money set aside for like the Odyssey of the Mind teams or anything like that? Do you know of that we can tap into, or at least like a grant or something that we can tap into for them?
To do what for them?
Well, we have a lot of teams going to Worlds this year
To
for
help
Odyssey
fund
of the Mind.
their travel, you mean?
And yeah, they have, well, it's $3,000 a team just to get to go. That's before travel. That's the registration fee. So we wouldn't ask for travel and all that stuff, but it would be for the registration fee. Or, it could be $100 and, it helps.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know if there's anything that is set aside for smaller groups.
I know at French Creek with our PTA, we were asked for, my son was actually in Odyssey of the Mind that year too. And I cannot remember how it panned out, but I know it was an issue because they say, if you give to one club for something like this, then you have to obviously give to all the clubs equally. And I don't know if and having it come from the principal's fund, and I don't know how that works, Corbin. I don't remember, but I could touch base with my old PTA president because she was with me when that happened as well. I know that they got some money, but I don't think it could be through the PTA.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, at East Coventry, we couldn't necessarily do it through PTA, but I didn't know if there was.
This was something that was altered about 5 years ago. Maybe not even that many. I'll say up to 5 years ago, because the school and or the building principals ended up footing the bill for whatever teams went from their buildings out of the school budgets. Now, I'll give you an example. You just said $3,000 just to get into competition, right? Before we're talking about hotels, travel, all that jazz.
Right.
There's 3 middle school teams that so there's $9,000 right off the top out of the middle school budget that I don't budget for, and I remember when these conversations came up, and a lot of the conversation was when you break, you're looking at what you're spending per student to participate, and the ratio was pretty imbalanced when it came to OM. So I know that while we recognize that, it certainly benefited students and families involved in OM to have the district and or the buildings foot part or all of that bill, it was not economically feasible for us to continue doing so. And a lot of that burden shifted back to OM teams doing fundraisers or things of that nature. And I think what the district pays for, and I can't even say this with 100% certainty, is the coaches expenses, but I'm not 100% sure on that even.
I mean, is there something where the Odyssey of the Mind teams would want to try to have a fundraiser, and we could ask PTA folks to help with that without it being directly? I mean,
I will tell you, and it was kind of touched on earlier in this meeting, that we have families who are very giving and generous, but oftentimes families are even more happy just to say, send me a GoFundMe link and let me just donate some money, because what I don't have is a lot of time to come work something or to come participate in something. Start a GoFundMe page, send me the link, and I'll make donations. And I saw the same thing when I was president of an Northchester Athletic Association. I saw the same thing. We tried to spend all this time coming up with all these fundraiser things to do, and after a while, the parents finally said, just raise the fee to play, because we were trying to keep our pay to play rate very low to attract people, and then they finally said, just add it, just tell us what to pay to be in. I don't want to keep nickel and diming.
Are we allowed to use our PTA website to put a GoFundMe on, or no?
No, we can't. No. But okay. Corbin, who's the coach? So when the high school, I went to the high school play, the Footloose, and they sold snacks before and in the middle and at the end.
Yep.
I mean, we have our play Friday, tomorrow and Saturday. Is that could, even if it was something just simple, like if they sold cookies and soft pretzels and soda, you know.
You go to
I mean,
Costco and get the little
yes,
M&Ms and stuff like that. That's what you see at
exactly,
Were you
exactly.
talking about the play?
when you go to Broadway.
Yeah,
Where?
yeah.
Well, the
Because there's-
theater club will be selling concessions at
Okay.
the play,
Okay.
so you're gonna step on
Okay.
their toes if anybody.
Yeah, well,
you
then,
know,
no, I didn't
if there's
realize that.
if there's an event running somewhere, there's a group probably running it that's trying to make some money off the sales, stuff like that.
You might
So-
want
I
to
didn't
try
realize
about some of the sports events, though. They usually don't have any people
Yeah.
selling concessions at the middle school sports
Like at
events.
the
and
lacrosse games, you know, the ones that are not down in the stadium, you know.
even if
Right.
it's just like candy, you know,
Mhm.
because there's always siblings and, you know,
Sure, that's a
parents.
good idea. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how much it would add up to, but yeah, but if you
goes
need warm
quick.
bodies, I mean, we could probably try to help with that care.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I kind of figured that there was no, I know, and
Yeah.
I completely understand it.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you differently.
Yeah,
But,
that's okay. Cool. I figured I'd ask. It never hurts.
Yep, appreciate you asking.
Great, thank you.
Very good. All right, well, if there isn't anything else, then the next thing we need to do then is get out a couple of these things, and then Amy, just keep us posted on that Sign Up Genius for the dance. That's coming up. Try to get some more volunteers for that if we can. So if you know any of you that aren't able to make it, if you know some folks that you think have their clearances in and you can maybe suggest they might help, that would be great. I mean, it's 2 hours. It'll go quickly. I'm going to do my absolute best to get there, but I think my flight is at 10:30 that night. So it's going to make it awfully tight. Maybe I can change it. I'll have to see, but I think I have to be somewhere that next morning. But all right, we will do our best. We will do our best. That's all we can ask, right? All right, guys, appreciate you. And we'll speak soon then. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
cheers.
Bye.